Armstrong is recognized, his name's recognized around the world, and yet he struggles to maintain his privacy. What was your impression of him, and why do you think he's speaking out now?
Well, obviously he's speaking out because he's agreed to do a book, and I think he's reached a point in his life, you know, he's in the autumn of his life, is a good way to put it. He's 75 years old. He has accomplished a lot in his life, and I think he's finally ready to talk about it. He is one of the most famous people in the world, and he is famously private. I mean, here's a guy who could have been in all of our lives as a pitchman for any number of products, as a spokesman for NASA, and he walked away from it. I mean, he went to a university in Cincinnati and taught engineering for almost a decade.
And his mission to the moon was fraught with danger, but I understand he also came close to death while training for the moon mission. What did he tell you about that?
He had an experience when he was in the Gemini capsule, when they were docking in space, and it started going wildly out of control. And they thought that the problem was with the device they had docked with. And he released from it, and it started revolving even faster. It was a matter of life and death, and he went through a checklist in his head and made the right decision and saved his life. He also had, when they were practicing in a sort of a trainer for the lunar landing, and there was a malfunction, and he had to eject. He ejected maybe about 100 feet from the ground. I mean, you couldn't have been any closer to the ground and survived. And the striking thing about that is that when he ejected and landed safely, he went back to his office because there was paperwork to do. I mean, here's a guy who just almost lost his life, and he goes back to do paperwork. And I said, but why? And he said, well, it had to be done.
And NASA and the President have proposed a return trip to the moon and even a manned exploration of Mars. What does Armstrong think about those proposals?
Armstrong is all for it, and he thinks that we should go to the moon. He thinks that we should go to Mars. I asked him if he would like to go, and he says, I don't think that I'll get the call, but I don't want to say I'm not available.